The next one is Salesforce sandboxes. Now, what is the concept of sandboxes? In the real time, we will be using the paid edition, right? So when we use the paid edition in the real time, that means whatever the org we have taken, this org is only with the client, which is nothing but a production org. So whatever the org the client will be creating it, the Salesforce will be creating it for the paid version, which is called as a production org. We do not make any changes to the production. We cannot make any changes to the production. So what developer or admin has to do is they have to create a copy of this production. That means whatever the org that I have received from the client, whatever the org they have purchased it from the Salesforce, it is a production org. It's a paid edition production org. Now, admin and a developer, if they have to customize it or if they have to work on it, they need to take a copy of the production org and create a separate box, which is called as a sandbox. Sandboxes are nothing but a copy of the production. When you are copying the production org, there are different types are there to copy production org. So sandboxes, different types of sandboxes we have. The first one is a full sandbox. Full sandbox is nothing but exactly copy of the production. Exactly copy of the production, which is nothing but a full sandbox. And it has a capacity is also same as the production. It includes everything that production has, which is exactly copy of the production that is called as a full sandbox. And the next one, which is called partial sandbox. Partial sandbox is also copied from the production, but the capacity is only 5 GB. It includes the features compared to full sandbox. Partial will have a less options. So this is called as a partial data. Only limit is 5 GB. Now, other type of a sandbox, which is called Developer Pro. So Developer Pro is also copy of the production, but the capacity is compared to the partial data and full, it is a just 1 GB. And the option that is available inside this Developer Pro is less. Last one, which is called as a Developer Sandbox. So Developer Sandbox is also copy of the production. Capacity is a too low. Compared to all these three, developer is too low. And options will be included very less. Now here we have a admin team, development team, QA team, and then client. Now admin development is we always create either developer sandbox or developer pro sandbox, right? So if it is a functionality which we are implementing, it does not have a big features, it's a small features. In that case, we always go with the developer sandbox. That means admin and developers will work on the developer sandbox. For QA, we have to create a developer pro sandbox because the capacity is little high. So QA needs to create a lot of data in order to test the functionality. So for that purpose, they need a developer pro. And next we have a partial data. Partial data, which is a 5 GB. Now this partial data is nothing but client, what they will do is before moving any changes to the production, now client wants to test it. Now, if client wants to test it, now internal VA has to give a confirmation to the client, now go ahead and test it. So that means once a developer pro is like a QA is done with testing the each story, Now in the partial data, we will push everything to the partial data. All the functionalities will be pushed to the partial data. So sometimes what happens here, this is based on the project. So developer says that, okay, developer sandbox is not enough the capacity. In that case, we need to create a developer pro sandbox to the developers and admin. Now QA might be working on the partial data because the capacity is high compared to the 5 GB. Now, if everything is working fine in the partial data, then we will move our changes to the full sandbox, which is the exact copy of the production. Now, in the full sandbox, we will push all the changes, whatever we have implemented, everything will be pushed to the full sandbox. In the full sandbox, client will be first testing it here. If client is satisfied with the functionality, everything is working fine, then we will push it to the actual org, which is called as a production. Actual org, which is called as a production. So this is the sequence of deployment and use of the each sandbox.